Now insertion of this image into table. How is it possible? This is another crucial thing. In our previous tutorial on table, we have worked on many attributes of tables, but we never gave any proper dimension to it, such as what should be the width of the table, what should be the alignment of the table, should it be in the center or should it be in the left or right. So we are going back to our project. Now this time we are creating a new table here. Now this is the table which has a width of a certain, which is 1000 pixels here. Then we are going to the border position. What should be the border? As usual, I keep it to 1. Actually I stick to 1. Just to distinguish between two separate contents, I have to separate them out with a certain border, but it should not be maximum to more than a 1 pixel value. But it depends upon project to project, on which project you are actually working on. So as per demand of the project criteria, you must be changing this value of border from 1 to any value that is fit to that project. Then again come back to cell padding, which I give here as 0. Now in this case we have created a table. All we have to do is to first close this table. Always remember this approach. Whenever you are opening a tag, you must close that tag first and then you go for other things in between. So in these days the browsers here used, those are very modernized and those actually can fix some of these minor issues. So there won't be any problem here. If you do open a tag and you do not close that tag should automatically be fixed up with the aid of modern browser. But if you talk about classical HTML or doing it in a proper way, in a copybook way, then it's a major disadvantage that you open a tag but you don't close it. So all you have to do, you have to open a tag first and then you have to close that tag. Now you have created a table but you didn't specify the number of rows and columns in it. So all you have to do then is to specify number of rows and columns as you are doing here. I have created a single row and a single column table. Actually I am intending to use 3 columns and a single row. So all I have to do is to create 2 more columns here, such as this one. This is column 2 and this is column 3. So what we did here, we actually created a table which has a single row but 3 columns in it. Our intention is to place an image in the middle column, while the rest of these 2 columns, they will remain unaltered, or you may put some text into it describing the behavior of this image. That is what you may do here. Now first of all, you have given a table width of 1000 pixels, a border of 1 pixel and a cell padding of 0 and a cell spacing of 0. So first you save this file and you go to your internet browser and reload, and you see that a table has been created here which is of 1000 pixels, but we see that it is left aligned. So what if you want to make appear your table in the middle of your page, in the middle of your web page? Then all you have to do is to go here and you have to specify some alignment for your table. So all you have to do is to create an alignment, align, which is center. Now all you have to do is to save this file first and go to internet browser, and you see that the table is now middle aligned, but still it is having some trouble in viewing. it is nothing but just a straight line, because we haven't provided so far any type of content in it. Now, as I have told you that what I intend to keep an image in this middle column. So now I am specifying an image here. So introducing an image into your HTML element will be requiring this tag in action, which is known as img or image tag. Now you have to specify the source of that particular image. That means you have to set up again some relative path, as you have placed over here. In this case, while referring the background, you have placed here, this is the relative path of your table. Then all you have to do is to specify the same thing over here, but this time with the image source you are actually working on. So all you have to do is to provide here the attribute as src, which is known as the source of your image. Now you are providing the source, that means you are setting up the relative path. So go here, place, again go to your directory. This is the folder name. You have to rename it first, then you go to name, copy the name, come back to your project, and you provide here, this is the directory of the images, the directory that holds the images. This is the name of that similar directory, of the same directory. Again you have to make a slash tag over here, and then come back to over here, and then you choose your image. Suppose I am choosing this image, climber1.jpg. So all you have to do is to first go to rename property, then copy the file name along with its extension name, which is .jpg in this case. Now just right click on it and copy the file name. So you have copied the file name. Now go to your project and over here paste your file name. So this is the source of the image which has been specified in this case. Now all you have to do is to provide another tag which is known as alt. This is a very key feature. In case of SEO, you will see that whenever Google recognizes an image, actually Google first looks for the alt attribute of that image. So this should be the description of this image. So for SEO purpose or search engine optimization purpose, which we will be discussing later, we will be seeing there that this actually plays a very crucial role in determining the description of your website, and it will be easy to find whenever you want to get it. So all we have to do for the time being, all we have to learn here that this is an attribute that actually describes this image, and all you have to do is to just provide an alt tag and give a proper description for your image, such as which is known as a climber or whatever the name you are giving here. It is just as an example, as I am using here this climber name. You may use something other similar to this, or anything, whatever you want. There is no mandatory or mandate things about it. You may choose your description of the image of your own. Then we are providing a hashtag and closing this. So far what we have seen here, that this image source or this image tag of in case of an HTML element, it is actually an empty tag, not a container tag. That means it has a opening tag but it has no closing tag. And another thing, in case of slow connection, if your image doesn't load in time, then the alt attribute will come in action, and you will see this description as a placeholder instead of the image it actually was about to show. Now go to file and save, and then go to your page and reload, and you see that the image is now inserted into the table, but we really don't think that the other two columns you have created, those columns are being executed here, those things are being observed here. This is because you never have provided any content in between. So first of all, provide a content such as Now go to File and Save, and you see, reload the page, and you see that the two things now have appeared over here. Now the question is distribution. We have created a table that has 1000 pixels width and has an image, but what it is using here, it is actually utilizing the proper dimension of the image as per as its source file. So we see that this image, it has a dimension of 1000 by 696. So we will never be concentrating on the height. All we are concerned about the width, and we see that the image width is the table width is 1000 pixels and the image width is also 1000 pixels. So all we have to do, we have to specify some particular width for the columns, for the column elements to appear them as it should be. That is why we are using this command in all of these column elements, such as td width. I am providing just a text here. I am providing a text here. So all we have to do is to specify to set a very particular width dimension setting, such as width equals to, let's say it is 100 pixels, and then we are coming over here, we are placing this thing width equals to 100 pixels. Now the remaining is 100 plus 100 equals to 200, and you have specified here 1000, and there is no cell spacing or cell padding. So what should be the width of the image? It should be actually 1000 minus 100 plus 100. That means 200 pixels. That means you have to deduct this 200 pixels from this 1000 pixels, as the maximum width of the table you have specified here is 1000 pixels. So this should be a width of 800 pixels. But if you now go to File and save it and come here and reload, all you will be seeing that nothing have taken place. So what should you do? Actually, all you have to do is to specify again the dimension of the image, and that is why you are providing a proper width to your image. For say it is 800, and the height of the image should be 600. This is the specification I have provided for good visibility of your image, for good rendering of your image. I have provided this height, but actually height should never be given unless it is forced to do so. So in this case, as I have specified, as I have limited the width of the image that is appearing actually into this middle column to 800 pixels. So I have specified a particular height of 600 pixels, such as it looks good to us. So now we are going to File, saving it, come back to our HTML document, reload, and we now see that the image is now of 800 pixels. And the left column is 100 pixels and the right column is 100 pixels.